What's going on YouTube? It's Mace X back with another video. Continuing the series, man, we looking at the big boys on the defensive line. We looking at the interior defensive linemen. Now, like I said in some of the other, more specifically defensive videos, we're keeping things simple. Interior defensive linemen, just like I did with the linebackers and the edge rushers. But before we get into it, I definitely appreciate you guys if you go ahead and like the video now. You know it's going to be good. I'm going to give you some facts, man. These are my opinions, but it's still facts because I said it. Also, subscribe. If you want more football content, you want to help a small channel like me grow, this is how you do it. You like it and you subscribe it. Not only will I appreciate it and it helps the channel grow, but damn, it's free as well. So with all that being said, let's get back to what we came here to do, and let's get to it. All right, and for the 23 class, my number 5 interior defensive lineman is Siaki Aika. Drafted round 3, 98th overall to the Cleveland Browns. Played at Baylor. Originally was an LSU recruit, heavily recruited 4-star. Transferred to Baylor after a few years, not really getting on the field, and boy did it work out. Siaki is your classic nose tackle. Can play the 3 technique as well. Very aggressive with his hands. For a big guy, he's very high motor. He's going to absorb doubles. He's going to make sure that he stuffs the run. You're not going to easily run up the middle or run up the gut. He's a run stopper. That's what you'd label him as. He's the classic nose tackle in today's era. At 6'3", 335, he's a big guy, like I said. He does play high at times, and he'll swallow you up, but just looking at a few games that I was able to evaluate, he did miss a solid amount of tackles that you definitely don't want to see. But nonetheless, I definitely see Siaki as a nice rotational piece, maybe the first 2 to 3 years of his career, and then transition into a full-time starter. All right, my number 4 interior defensive line is Bursey out of Clemson, drafted round 1. 29th overall to the New Orleans Saints. 6'6", 298 pounds, man. I'm gonna be honest. I really wanted to be biased and put Bursey much higher than what I have him now. Well, he's still in my top 5, so maybe not much higher. I should say maybe that's exaggeration, but I did want to put Bursey higher on this list. He's somebody, since he was a sophomore in high school, I heard about. He has a lot of viral videos from his high school tape. He was a 5-star recruit, number 1 overall prospect in the 2020 class. The reason why, and what you'd expect from an interior defensive lineman that's a number 1 recruit, is his amazing physical attributes. I mean, 6'6", around 300 pounds, really elite power. He was benching 405 pounds his senior year in high school. Really good agility, very explosive at that size, running a 4.8 40. I do feel that he has the highest potential. He has the highest ceiling of everybody on this list. He's the ultimate boomer bust. Every top 5 I've had at least one boomer bust. Bursey is the boomer bust for the interior defensive lineman in this class. Now, he does have injury concerns, and honestly, with all the tools and attributes, he made plays in college, but you did expect more. And every year you are always wanting more. So the productivity and the consistency was not there. Honestly, there's been a track record where if the productivity is not there in college, it correlates to it not being there in the NFL. This guy, if he taps into that ceiling, he can be a force to be reckoned with. All right, and at number 3, this might be a little controversial, but I have Kalijah Campbell out of Pittsburgh, drafted round 1, 19th overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 6'1", 281, Pitt, undersized, very athletic interior defensive lineman. He's always been compared to the great Aaron Donald. For an interior defensive lineman, is a sack machine, definitely reminiscent of Aaron Donald. He had 7 sacks his sophomore and his junior year. So 14 sacks in 2 seasons playing the defensive tackle position. That's really insane at the college level, especially. Very disruptive in the past. He has a very nice, quick first move. It reminds me of John Randall, just the way he's able to fly off the ball at the point of attack. This man ran a 4.67 at 281 pounds, which is top tier. It has to be in the 90th plus percentile. The reason why I have him a little bit lower is he is undersized and he may get pushed around inside at the NFL level. He could be a liability in the run game. Okay, so he is a little bit more on the pass dominant side. So if he isn't able to hold his own down there in the trenches, he will be limited to more of a pass rush specialist. I mean, I can definitely be wrong. He could be the best because he has a lot of potential, and guys like this don't grow on trees, but hey, we shall see. And I do expect him to have a really good career, but I just couldn't put him over the guy I'm about to talk about next. All right, and at number 2, I have Mozzy Smith out of Michigan. Now, he was drafted round 1, 26th overall to your favorite Dallas Cowboys, 6'3", 323 pounds. He was also heavily recruited. I heard about him his senior year in high school, 4-star recruit, 2-time All-Big Ten. Now, he has a lot of experience, 28 starts in the Big Ten. He's a lane clogger, so he has a blend of power and quickness, weight room warrior, and it translates to the film. Once again, I don't care if you're real strong in the weight room, but you don't play like it. The man has a 550-pound bench and can broad jump over 9 feet. That translates, like I said. Also at almost 330 pounds, the man ran a 4.85. His size-adjusted speed and athleticism is off the charts as well. Plays with good leverage. I like him in the run. He's a little bit more balanced between the run and pass, and I really think that'll bode well, especially in that Dallas Cowboys defensive system over there with Dan Quinn. I think he's still there. He does have some off-the-field concerns. That always can be a red flag because sometimes the biggest threat to you is you. So you hope you get that cleaned up. And like I said, I really do think that he's going to fit that system over there with the Cowboys. And within 2 years or so, he's going to be a consistent starter. I do see him as one day making a couple Pro Bowls. All right, and at number 1, we have none other than Jalen Carter, who honestly is probably one of my highest ranked defensive players in the entire class, regardless of position. 6'3", 314 pounds. Drafted with the 9th overall pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. 5-star recruit. And like I said, I think every defensive video that I've made in this series includes a UGA player, which just shows the depth and just crazy ballers that they had on defense. Of course, Jalen Carter, SEC first team. Of course, SEC, we consider that the cream of the crop conference in all of college football, and he was first team all SEC. Always productive, definitely at a very young age, was a nice rotational piece. Once the keys were his, he definitely took off. He has a combination of athleticism, strength, technique, and I really feel under the leadership that the Philadelphia Eagles have on that defensive line, Fletcher Cox, for example, it's going to clean up a lot of the red flags that Jalen Carter came into the NFL draft with. I do feel that most likely he would have been a top 5 pick, maybe even a top 4 pick if it wasn't for some of those off-the-field issues that he had. On the field, Jalen Carter is one of the most disruptive, explosive defensive players in the class, if not the most disruptive. You do expect him to get some type of playing time right away, even on that deep Eagles defensive line. I think by next year, he'll most likely be the starter. He definitely has Pro Bowl, All-Pro potential. We just hope that he can clean up his act and off the field, the character concerns, he doesn't get in his own way. But nonetheless, Jalen Carter, hands down, is the number 1 defensive interior lineman in this class. All right, so these are my top 5 interior defensive linemen. So as you can see, a lot of depth overall. I think this is a solid class. There's going to be some producers. The interior defensive lineman is a position that takes a few years to develop. A lot of these guys aren't going to come out the gate making plays. A lot of them have to grow and they have to develop. And maybe 3 to 4 years from now, you see them as solid contributing starters, or you see the prime start to come out of their potential. If you made it this far, like I always say, I deeply appreciate it. I thank the support. If you haven't already, just to remind you, help a brother out, like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow overall, and I deeply appreciate it. And with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I got to roll. I got to bounce. I hope y'all have a good one, and I'm out of here.